Is it happening?
It's happening.
It's happening.
Well, I'm excited to have you on.
Yeah.
I met you a few months ago, I guess, at Roscoe's, and I think you're a really good comedian. The first question I ask everybody when they come on is, do you remember your first set?
I do remember my first set. It was 2019 in Denver, Colorado.
Wow.
Right before the pandemic. But yeah, it was on East Colfax, which is kind of a sketchy part of town.
Okay.
And it was a dive bar show, open mic. And yeah, I got, 2, 3 laughs.
Okay.
Um, and it was fun, but I was so nervous. I
Yeah.
mean, I felt like I was gonna puke. I mean, I feel like I saw you right after you
Yeah.
started comedy.
Yeah.
So just, I mean, it was, and I brought some friends out, which in hindsight, like maybe you don't have to do that.
Oh, that's funny.
Um, but yeah, I made some jokes about like the rich moms and Cherry Creek, which is like the domain equivalent
Oh,
there.
okay.
So yeah, I got a couple of, pandering laughs
Nice.
about binge drinking. But overall, yeah, I remember it. I don't remember a lot of what I said, but I was
Okay.
mostly just because I was terrified.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
thought I was gonna be like Dee from It's Always Sunny, who's just like,
Yeah. That is funny.
so
But you kept doing it after that set?
yeah, so I did that in Denver, and then the pandemic happened,
Oh, yeah.
and so everything shut down. And while that was going on in Denver, I became an EMT. So I
Wow.
didn't do stand up again until 2021 when we moved here.
Oh my goodness.
hmm
Wow. Okay. So
So
you're from Denver originally?
so we moved here from Denver. We were there for 7 years. I was
Okay.
born and raised in Dallas, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
we moved around a little bit after college. Really
Okay.
loved Colorado, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're here now.
So you and
So.
your husband,
hmm
you guys have been together since college?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, 15 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I don't know if I've met him. I think I've seen him though
You've
at
definitely
Roscoe's.
seen him at
Okay.
Roscoe's, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like he's around a
yeah,
lot. He
you've seen him.
works, does he work at Roscoe's too?
Yeah, we both
Okay.
used to.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We've moved on
Wow.
now.
Was he doing comedy before you started or was
No, no. I
Okay.
mean, we talk about it all the time, and that's like what we really bonded over the first time we
Oh,
met,
okay.
was just comedy in general. So he is very funny,
Yeah.
but he's just, I mean, he doesn't have a real desire to be on stage. So it's
Okay.
nice to like, I mean, I know you're both comedians,
Yeah.
so it's great, to have somebody with a comedic mind around,
Yeah,
because you
it's a lot
can,
easier than like having to
yeah.
deal with just people that don't understand.
Exactly. Yeah. And you kind of have a soundboard, you're like, is
Yeah,
this anything? Is there something here?
for sure.
So we definitely have that, but no, he just doesn't have a desire to be on stage. He says that,
Okay.
he's like, there's enough dudes out there doing comedy.
Okay.
He's
So
like,
he's like super supportive of your comedy career
yeah,
though. That is cool.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
Yeah, so when did you start? So you came to Austin and you started like doing comedy more when you got here.
hmm
Where would you go like at first?
Oh, girl, I don't even think you guys were here when the Romo Room was a
I
thing.
don't know what that is.
Yeah, so in the Domain, there used to be a bar called the Brass Tap,
Okay.
and that's where like I kind of went to some open mics around town with Jonathan, and was trying to work up the courage for the first couple of months that I was here to
Yeah.
get back on stage again.
Okay.
And at the back of the Brass Tap, there's this little room, and it's called the Romo Room. And it was just really, I mean, maybe 50 people could fit in there.
Okay.
um, but it was this tiny little spot. And I started doing open mics there. I did Ridge Hirschberger's open mic, which was called Holy Comedy, which,
Okay.
if I don't know if you know who Ridge Hirschberger is, he and Christina Mariani are good friends.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, he's like a farmer boy from Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice.
And he was on like the Kill Tony 100th or 1000th episode,
Oh,
whatever the
really?
hell.
I might know him if I saw him.
If you saw him
but
and
I'm
heard
bad with
his jokes,
names.
you'd be like, "Oh, that guy."
Okay.
But he was just like really kind, and
Mhm.
I was so like shy and apprehensive, and so I felt comfortable doing that mic, so that's where I
Oh, okay.
started doing comedy. And I worked at True Food Kitchen, which is in
Nice.
the Domain. So I would like go to work and then go hang out there and like
Yeah.
do mics or whatever. I did the Hans Kimchi mic whenever
Oh,
Hans Kim
okay.
was running a mic there.
Oh, that's cool.
But then yeah, the Brass Tap shut down like after a year.
Okay.
So I had to branch out,
Yeah,
which was good.
that is good.
But yeah, so now, it's like wherever there's
Okay.
comedy everywhere.
I know, it's true. Yeah, I've never done any comedy, like, up north because I am always kinda south, but,
Mhm.
that is really interesting. It's cool to hear about, like, other people that have been, like, used to run mics. Like, I didn't know
Mhm.
Hans Kim used to run a mic.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool name, I guess, like the kimchi mic. I like
The
that.
kimchi bike.
That
Yeah.
is cool. I love True Food Kitchen also.
Hell yeah, girl.
So I bet
Shout out
you
True Food Kitchen
did you, like were you a
sponsorship.
server or were you, like, making food?
So they make you serve first. I was a
Okay.
bartender though for the majority of my time there.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, and Jonathan worked there too. He was there for a couple of years in the back of house.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
That's awesome.
lot of fresh produce,
Yeah.
lot of
I bet.
hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, it's always like it does always taste so good though, like, it's always fresh and,
It
like, I
is,
don't
yeah.
know, like, I always feel like I'm being really healthy when I eat it, and I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I wish I could, like, cook like this for myself." I
Mhm.
could if I since I started comedy, like, I've only been doing it a year, but I feel
Mhm.
like I'm just, like, very ADHD and, like, hyper focused on comedy and, like, don't wanna do anything else, so I've been, like,
Well,
bad with my eating habits. I need to be better.
I mean, touche. Yeah, you should take care of yourself.
I know, it's bad.
But when I met you and saw you for the first
Yeah.
time, I was like, you have what's the word? Moxie?
Oh,
You're tenacious, and I
okay.
was like, because I wanted to, like, chat with you, and I was like, "I feel
Yeah,
like she really has a drive, like, I should get to
yeah.
know her because maybe she can help me,
I love
like,
that. Oh my god.
stay motivated,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I knew that you were new, but
Yeah.
I could see, that
Thanks.
you were hungry
Yeah, I
for
totally am. Like, I love it so much, but I wanted
so
to do it for years because I've lived in
mhm.
Austin for 12 years, but I'm from like northern Maine. And
Oh,
for
shit.
years, I wanted to do it.
That's
And I just
far.
like never had the guts to do it.
Mhm.
But then my dad died and he was like my best friend. So I was like, that was
Sorry.
like really hard. But I was like, if I can, get through that, I could probably
Mhm.
get through anything. Cause I'm also like an anxious person. Like, I get
Mhm.
nervous on stage still, like a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like get more confidence. But I was in therapy and my therapist was like, "No, you're not." I thought I was a narcissist because a lot of people in my life are like not supportive of me wanting to do comedy. And so I went to like therapy also just to like help like mourn my dad's death. And
Mhm.
my therapist was like, "No, you're not a narcissist. You should try comedy. Go to Creek and Cave. They've got open mics like on
Oh,
Tuesdays."
they
And
told you where
like,
to go. I
yeah.
love that.
So she was great. And so I did. And I went to like Dane Lyons open mic and he was really
Nice.
nice.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I was like,
Dane's yeah,
yeah, I felt
super.
safe there, and I was like,
Yeah. Mhm.
because I feel like if the host was mean to me, I probably wouldn't have done it again.
Yeah.
Like, or I
I
mean,
mean,
maybe I would have, but I would have had a
you
harder time.
would've, but you would've, like, not wanted to go back to that venue.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there've been a couple of times where I've done open mics too, and I'm just like, "Eh,"
yeah,
like,
yeah,
like a weird little troll, and, like, you don't know anybody, and
yeah,
people are, kinda rude, which was
yeah.
my first mic that I ever did in Denver was kind of like that. Like, they're just
Okay,
dismissive, when you're new, and
yeah,
I was like, "Oh," like, I was 8th on the sign-up sheet because I got there so early, and I kept,
yeah.
like, going being like, "Hey, when am I gonna go up? I have friends
Oh,
waiting."
that's
And it was
funny.
like they just keep pushing you because
Yeah,
people that have been doing it forever will come in and be like, "Hey, let me
yep,
get up real quick." So
yeah.
yeah, no, the host definitely sets the vibe
I
for the
agree.
rest of, yeah,
And it's
everybody on the
probably
mic.
like really good experience hosting an open mic too, just like
Oh,
having to
yeah.
you can like say things like after people's sets and stuff cuz
Mhm.
hosting is really different than doing comedy, I notice. Like for me
Yeah.
at least. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
new
yeah.
skill I'm trying to like get better at.
Yeah, I hosted a couple of mics before the Romo Room shut down, and then, of course, at, like, Roscoe's, I've hosted mics,
Yeah.
and it is, it's cool, like, now I honestly only want to do open mics if I'm hosting or if, like,
Yeah.
I get a spot somewhere like the Creek
Okay, okay.
where you feel like you have opportunities because
Yeah.
it's like I've done, you feel like you've put in hundreds of sets at these open mics and you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm good on that,
Okay.
I'm good on 20 people with their heads down
Yeah, they don't pay
and not paying
attention.
attention. You're not getting any real feedback. And
Yes.
so like I love to do a spot. I'll do a free spot,
Yeah.
I did a free spot this week. But
Nice.
it's like you want an audience,
Yeah,
who's
that's the
there to
best.
listen.
Yeah, if you can
to
get a
give
real
you
audience,
something.
like real people.
Yeah,
Like
real people, real feedback where you can be
yeah.
like, "Oh, this does or does not work." Because
Yeah.
sometimes at open mics, you just feel like you're talking into the void.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's so
Um,
true.
which sometimes you just need to get the words out, and that's fair
That
enough.
is true. That is a good point, actually. Just
But
like saying it out loud a few
mhm,
times and
yeah,
then trying. But sometimes I'll
mhm,
try a new joke at open mic and it'll bomb. And then
mm,
I'm scared to try it again. But I'm like, there was no one in that room.
right.
So how the fuck do I really know?
You don't. You have
Yeah.
to keep trying it. Like, if
Yeah.
you're really passionate about a bit and you're committed to
Yeah.
it, then you just keep trying, and after, like, 3 months, if it's not working, then you can be like, "Okay, maybe I need to relinquish this bit."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, like, nobody gets it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just for me.
For sure.
But no, I think it's important to if you care, about your writing and you're really stuck on something, like, there's a
Yeah.
reason that you keep coming back to it, so
For
you
sure.
just have to figure out how to make it palatable for everyone, you
Yeah.
know?
That's a good point. I
Yeah.
always, whenever I see you go up, I feel like you're very confident and like,
Oh,
you know,
thanks.
like what you're doing. And so I admire you a lot for that. And I was wondering, like, what year do you feel like you got like more confident? Or like, how long did it take you to feel like you were at a place where like, I'm confident and like, I know myself
That's
on
a good
stage?
question. Um, honestly, I would say after the first 2 years,
Hmm.
because it was really just about stage time. I'd
Yeah.
like to think that I've had a similar voice throughout, like, I've had a similar tone to my comedy. I've always been kind of dark,
Yeah.
um, and I've never really necessarily been afraid of talking about those dark things, but it is about making it you know, something that everybody's gonna enjoy, not
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because there's a fine line. Like, I
Yep.
love George Carlin,
Me too.
so
I love
he's
him.
he's awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, he was really silly, for a long time,
True.
and people would go to see him because of who he was, and then he could really, get you hooked and then do a 5-minute monologue about something serious.
For sure.
When you're starting out at an open mic, you can't just do 3 minutes about war
Yeah.
and, and expect people to laugh. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have some levity. So
Yeah.
I think that's what I struggled with the most was like finding the balance between the things I actually cared to talk about and
Yeah.
then trying to mix in enough jokes that people could laugh and weren't just like, oh, or you
Yeah.
talk about things in your life, that are personal to you. And you
Yeah.
don't want people to do that. You don't want pity. You don't
Right.
want,
Right. Right.
you're like, this is fun. We're having fun,
Yeah.
like this is hilarious.
For sure.
So finding the balance, I would say probably took a couple of years. And now like I
Yeah.
do get nervous still because I care, but
Yeah.
it's not nervous because I'm unsure of myself. It's just nervous because like I want people to resonate with what I'm saying and
Yeah.
I want to keep progressing.
For sure. So it's
So,
like nerves, but
mhm,
because you care and
yeah.
like I get that. Where I am always trying to figure out that line of like I also have kind of dark humor and then so
Yeah,
sometimes like
you do.
I like will say really fucked up shit too early and it's like I
Mhm.
needed to come later. So like I'm
Mhm.
trying to like have lighter jokes towards the
Mhm.
beginning and
Yeah.
then like move into like the darker jokes after the crowd trusts me a little bit more cuz I
Yes.
fucking one time I bombed so bad at Roscoe's open mic and I deserved to bomb because like I don't know what I even did. I like said something like so crazy at the beginning because like
Oh my
I
god,
think you brought
Roscoe's.
me up and you had a joke that was like kind of fun, like dark a little
Mhm.
bit, and then I just like said something insane and at the beginning to try to like I don't
Mhm.
know go back to what you had said, but it bombed so bad. So, and that's also like with hosting now. Like I
Mhm.
at first I was trying to like have something to say after everybody went up
Mhm.
and sometimes you just have to keep the thing going and like keep
Yeah.
the momentum going. So I'm working on just like not trying to like like say something about everything everyone said before
Mhm.
me and just kind of like keep the show going. I think that's
Mhm.
working for me now, but I'm still just like very new. So I'm trying to figure it all out. And I
Yeah.
love it though. So it's like I like to like I like when I feel like okay that went well or if I try something new it goes
Mhm.
good but it's I don't know it's like a new skill. My cycle also dictates a lot for me unfortunately like
Mhm.
when I'm ovulating I do better
I mean,
but when I'm PMSing sometimes I do okay but sometimes I bomb really bad when I'm PMSing.
I think the audience can feel your energy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and like since I've been pregnant,
yeah.
honestly, like it's funny because I feel like I get a little bit more from the crowd,
Ooh,
whether they want to give it to me or not because I'm
okay.
pregnant. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
wonder if it's the energy, if
You
it's
probably
like,
yeah, I bet you have, like,
you
really good
know,
energy right now.
so I think
Well, you
you're
always
not
do.
wrong. Oh, well, thanks.
But I bet, like, you have, like, very, like, warm energy more maybe your energy's
Yeah, maybe
warmer?
it's like a I don't know, some maternal thing that
Yeah,
people
yeah.
just like want, they're like, "Oh, she's pregnant. Like we want her to feel happy and like we need to laugh, whatever it is. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
fucking take it cuz being pregnant's been something."
I know, what's that like?
There's also something about just like having dark jokes and being pregnant that is already
Yes.
funny.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
Yeah, just
that's
being
right.
pregnant is kind of funny.
Being pregnant is pretty funny. I'll be real
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty hilarious journey in spite of everything.
Yeah.
But that's what I was going to say about your comedy too.
Yeah.
You saying like, you'll say dark stuff
Yeah.
and it's like it's wrapped in a pretty little box. So
Yeah.
people don't, you know, you get up there and you're like, who's into hentai,
Yeah, yeah.
and there people are like, what?
Yeah, they don't expect it maybe as much. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you hear, dark, crass things from so many men. And then if a girl gets up there and says something really dark,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like kinda jarring or like it's
Like,
a
oh my God.
misdirect maybe or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, that is funny.
So, I mean, but once you get a following, that's like, it's fun,
Yeah.
and then you play off of that. Like, I love Natasha Leggero. She's one of my favorite
She's so
comedians.
good.
She's great.
Yeah.
And she's always like, she looks like a princess on
Yeah, she
stage. You know what I
does.
mean? Like all buttoned up. And then
Yeah.
she, is a comedian. So it's great. I love that. The juxtaposition of looking one way and then,
Yeah. No,
you're
I
like, oh,
agree.
that came out of your mouth.
And she has, like, an old money, like, voice or
Oh, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's her real voice, maybe it is.
I think it is.
It's just this, like, really, like, high class, like,
Yeah.
tone or something.
hmm
Like, I think that's
Yeah.
really funny too,
Yeah.
because it kind of even throws you off even more. Or
hmm
she'll, like, wear fur coats and stuff.
hmm
I like her style.
Yeah. She's great. I love her.
So what do you feel like have been, like, the best things about doing comedy in Austin? Like, what have been, like, the most challenging things for you?
Oh, that's a good question. Best things about doing comedy in Austin. I would say the best thing is that you can get stage time.
Yep.
If you really want it, you can get it. It
Yep.
might not be where you want to get it,
Yeah,
but you can get up in front of people.
for sure.
I've done some spots in some places where I'm like, I don't feel safe. Like,
Yeah,
I'm carrying my pocket knife on the way back to the car.
for sure.
But the abundance of comedy is a good thing. And
Yeah.
you can see when you go to other cities, not that I've performed in all these cities,
Yeah.
I've done a couple spots in Denver and Dallas. But you can
Nice.
see that the bar here is so much higher. So it is
Yeah.
challenging to get started here, but it does really weed out the weaklings
Yeah, yeah.
because there are so many people doing so many spots and like there is a point I think where you kind of I've watched a lot of people burn out.
Really? Yeah.
I'm like I've seen you do open mics, you've been running
Yeah.
the same 3 minutes, bro, for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And like if that's all you need and that's what you want out
Yeah.
of comedy, then that's fine. But
Okay.
there are enough of us who are really, really trying and really passionate about it
Yeah.
that we do push each other, whether or not you realize it.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's the best thing about Austin comedy. Now, the downside over the years
Yeah.
is the saturation of that.
Yeah.
Because now all of us that have been here putting in time are competing with all the people that are flooding in to go to Rogan's Club.
Yeah.
I mean, like Trevor Wallace is going to be at Roscoe's next weekend. I'm like,
Really? I didn't
well,
know that. That's
yeah.
cool.
So it's like,
Yeah.
you're competing with Netflix and
True.
Hulu specials, which again, I mean, it's like, well, either do better or fail.
Yeah, it's true. It makes
So,
sense.
but you do kind of feel like, for me right now, I do feel a little stagnant.
Okay.
Not because I don't want it, but just because, I mean, if there are 10 people messaging a producer to get on a show
Yeah.
and you have 2,000 Instagram followers and everybody else has 50,000, then they're going to favor the people who they think can pull tickets for them,
Okay, okay.
you know?
Yeah.
And there's so many venues that are trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of, you know, you're just kind of caught. So you just have to be tenacious. And,
Yep.
you know, when I started working at Roscoe's, it was advantageous. I mean, that's why I worked there. It's
Okay.
not like you're making mad money,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
running a small little club bartending for smaller shows, and then we would sell out on the weekends, you know, but it was because I got time. So it was
Okay.
really my home club where I got to like hone the craft, and I got to go
Yeah.
up regularly, and you know, people got to know me and would
Yeah.
ask if I was going up and stuff, and like that's cool. It builds your confidence.
For sure.
And you know, I learned a lot while I was getting regular spots there. So I'm grateful for that.
For sure.
But yeah, you do have to be able to like go up in front of all kinds of people everywhere,
Yeah.
you know. I'm like the best comedians that we all love are on tour everywhere and
True.
can
Yeah, yeah,
sell
yeah.
tickets in fucking Omaha or Tampa or LA.
For sure. Yeah.
So, you
That
know.
is a good point. Like having to figure out the way of like getting the following, I guess, because I
Mhm.
think Casey, he knows Casey Rocket from when he worked in
Oh yeah.
New York. He opened for him or he hosted for him a couple times, and he was saying like
Mhm.
it takes like 10 years to get good at comedy, but it takes a long time to get a following too.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of have to figure out like how do you get the following while you're getting better, because
Mhm.
it's such a long, it takes a long time usually for not for everybody, and like everyone's different obviously, but
Yeah.
so that is like kind of an interesting thing too, where
Mhm.
I'm just like trying to like figure that out. But have you ever signed up for Kill Tony? I've seen you at the mothership sign up.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I've
Have you
signed
been
up
on?
for Kill Tony
Okay.
before I talk about my Kill Tony experience, which I have one.
Oh, okay.
Um, I just wanted to say that I think a lot of people
Yeah.
who make it, I mean, they make space for themselves, right? And I think that you're doing that. Like, I'm so glad that you're doing this and you have your show at the Creek. Like, that's fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Like, you're crushing it. You know,
Thank you so much.
you just can't stop.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's the thing. It's like you have to keep going.
For sure.
Because there are people like Dane Cook, you know, he was very, very tenacious. Like after every show, taking everybody's email down when he
Whoa,
was
I didn't
doing
know
little
that.
clubs, like he would send out, you know, hours sending out emails to these people. I'm
Whoa.
doing the show here. Matt Rife, you know, was just posting clips until
Yeah.
he didn't have to keep doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So, so you just have to keep doing it. But I was on Kill Tony, the very last episode they shot at Vulcan.
I did not know. Okay. I
Yeah.
have to go watch that.
I mean, it's not like it was bad,
Okay.
but I was like barely 2 years in.
Okay. Okay.
And so I watch it and I'm just like, oh my God. You know, it's like
Oh.
you're like, oh, I could have done so much better.
Okay.
And it was a rough show. It was Tim Dillon and oh my God, I am blanking. Roseanne.
Oh, wow.
It was Tim Dillon and Roseanne.
Okay.
Tim Dillon was very sweet to me. He told me that I had great stage presence and that
Nice.
he enjoyed my time. Roseanne was wicked drunk,
Okay.
and she told me that
Yeah.
she liked me, but she thought I needed to work on my joke structure.
Okay.
And, you know, and then you hear that from a legend in front of all
Yeah.
these people after a bad show. Like, it was
Aw.
a bad vibe show. Like,
Damn.
one guy went up and was like shitting on Tony, and everybody was like, boo. And then
Yeah.
I was at the end of the night after a show that was too long, and
Shit.
they were like, oh, we haven't had a girl yet. I was one of those.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
I was like, everybody's tired.
Yep.
People are pissy, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tony and Red Band were like done, and they
Oh
were like,
no.
all right, let's get this last bitch up here, you know. And like,
Damn.
I went up and I was so excited that I laughed,
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean, throughout my minute.
I get that.
And I also like opened with something I've never said before, and then like you're up there and I was like, I just fucking wasted 10 seconds, but you have to keep going.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was like I told, you know, like two jokes, but it
Yeah.
could have been better. So I look back on it now and I like cringe, but
Yeah.
I did do it. I sign up every now and then, but
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a little disenchanted with it all, the
I
culture of
know.
it.
It
And do you
is
sign up every week?
I used to, but then I was like, I was watching some videos of myself from like months ago. I was a
Mhm.
lot worse then, so I should probably just wait a little until I get better, because I'm only a year in. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been having that feeling of like, yeah, I want to get better before I go on. But then at the same time, sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I signed up for 2 years and like I
Hmm.
haven't been on. And then I'm like, I don't know what to
Yeah.
do. So
I mean, hearing you as much as I have, I feel like you would get enough laugh breaks that you probably would have a good 60 seconds.
yeah,
It's not bad that you're apprehensive. I
yeah,
wish more people were apprehensive
yeah.
and it would be more watchable.
That's true. Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm just like, oh my God.
Sometimes people go on who have never done comedy and like, oh my god,
Oh, yeah.
why would you do that to yourself? Like,
Hmm.
just do comedy first, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. Like, it
But
does feel like low key disrespectful, but it is what the show is.
that's true, and sometimes the fans like the bombing.
They do.
So
So, I'm like, I get excited if I know somebody who
yeah,
was on the show or they like post a clip. I'm like, oh, I want to watch because, Philip got up or,
yeah,
Audrey Scott got up not too long ago. Like, I
yeah,
want to watch them,
for sure.
but I, for the most part, like, don't consume it the way that I used to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Sometimes I'm like, I'll put it on if I know somebody was on, and like
Yeah.
fast
Or
forward
like
to
in the
that.
background and
Yeah,
you like the guest or
yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, largely it's tough. I mean, you're
And
watching
yeah,
an open mic.
basically, yeah, and we do that all the time anyway, or
Yeah.
we watch people bomb anyway all the time. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Like,
it's hard to do like when
dude.
So I get that, and but I think it's cool you got on, and I think you should sign up. But the only thing about signing up, I wouldn't want to if I were you right now because you're pregnant, and like I feel like sometimes the people in there are crazy
Oh, they
at
are crazy.
Shakespeare's, like, and they'll come over and
Yeah.
like just scare the shit out of you, and then you're
Yeah.
like trying to stay in zen so in
Mhm.
case you get pulled. But yeah,
It's
it
a
is scary
lot.
sometimes there.
It's like an overwhelming environment. It's really loud too. Like
It
for
is,
a
yeah,
while I was signing up like every other week and I thought, "Oh,
yep,
I could write or read or
yeah,
something."
yeah, yeah.
And you cannot.
Nope,
And I've never been a big drinker. And I
no,
also I'm not trying to waste my fucking money,
I I
I'm like, I
know.
don't have money for this.
Because you don't want to drink, but then the
Yeah.
environment's so fucked that you're like,
Yeah. And
I
then I'm like,
feel like I got to.
I need a shot
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
calm down
Yeah, because
because
some
it's
crazy
so
guy just came over and like,
overstimulating.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
So it's kind of, yeah, it's tough. I mean, it is kind of, it's a cattle call, if you will. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've ever like done, when I was a kid, I like had a moment where I was trying to do like showbiz shit
Whoa,
and
really?
like, yeah, like audition for America's Got Talent and
That's
stuff
cool.
like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a 10-hour day. You're there with all
Whoa.
these people just waiting and you're like, what am I
Wow.
doing here?
What was your talent?
So I was a competitive Irish step dancer growing
No
up.
way.
Yeah, so that was always my talent. And it was
That's cool.
hilarious because they would like have you audition on fucking carpet and you
Oh
can't hear
no.
anything. And I'd be like, well, all right, I'm so glad we waited all day for this opportunity.
Damn.
Um, but yeah, no, I think I probably there's like four different times I auditioned, a couple
Okay.
times by myself and then a couple times with girls in my school, as
Yep.
it was called. Um, but yeah, it was cool. It was a cool experience. And
Yeah.
I was like an extra on Friday Night Lights when I was in high school.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I got to be on sets and stuff, but I never really had the drive like, when I was that young,
Yeah.
I wasn't hungry for that.
Okay.
I was just like, "Oh, this is kind of a cool thing," you
Yeah,
know?
like a new experience.
Right. But,
Yeah.
I was like, "No, I'm not here to, audition in
Yeah.
silence in front of 5 people over and over and over again."
Damn. That is
Um,
wild. Just
because
like
it's
auditioning.
mhm.
When did you
Yeah.
start dancing?
I started dancing when I was 5.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you still dance?
I can still
Yeah.
dance, but I don't, like, actively practice
Okay.
anymore, no.
That's really
Mm-mm.
cool though. I took a tap dancing class with my
Yeah?
friend once and I learned like I'll show you later. Like I learned like I still remember the
She's,
move
like,
I
off
learned.
camera.
Yeah, like I suck, but I like there's like doo-doo-doo, like I remember it.
Do you
Sometimes
have any little hobbies that, like, keep you sane
um
since you've been here?
I used to love yoga. I went to training to become a yoga instructor like
Nice.
right before the pandemic, and then
Mhm.
the pandemic happened, and when we were supposed to be like teaching classes, practicing that, we couldn't, so we had to do it on Zoom. So
Mm,
then I was teaching like what I
that's
learned
tough.
on Zoom, and
Mhm.
I'm super awkward. So like I did try to teach the class one time before the pandemic and I was so nervous. My voice was like trembling and I'm just not a good public speaker, which is weird that I do comedy. But
Well, I mean, I'm with you. I was
yeah,
so nervous, but you get over it.
you
It's different.
do.
It's
And it's
different.
like less scary for me to like tell a joke than it was for me to like try to remember a sequence and like say it out loud for
Yeah.
some reason, because you have to remember like your right and your left, and
Mhm.
like you're like facing they're like doing the opposite as you. So I don't know. It was hard for me, but I used to do that, and then now I don't do that like pretty much ever. I do Pilates sometimes, but I basically have just been like, I feel like writing, and then like doing the podcast takes up like a lot of my time too, and I don't have hobbies, so I should probably get some.
Well, I mean, if you feel fulfilled,
I do,
that's
yeah.
all that matters, really.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, but as I've gotten older, I'm like, oh, I need things that like
Yeah.
can occupy my mind because when you're passionate about something like comedy, it is a good thing to be focused.
Yeah.
But I'm anxious too, and
Yeah.
so it's like if you go a couple weeks and like you don't get booked or something, like I
That
would get
does, yeah.
really in my head
Yeah.
and be like, well, what the fuck,
I'm like, what did
like.
I do?
Yeah, like what did I do? We only
Yeah.
have time. The time is fleeting.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it's like so
I get
yeah, I
that.
feel like, you should have other little things that can kind of bring you joy
Yeah.
in between. And even pro comics, I mean, they'll take fucking 6 months off, to be with
Damn.
their family or
Yeah.
go do vacation or something, but it's like we can't just fly to Italy. So I learned how to
True.
sew last year.
Oh, you did?
It's like,
Okay.
yeah.
I like to sew. I used to sew a little bit sometimes.
Nice. Okay.
I
Yeah.
used to be a Montessori teacher for a long time.
Okay.
I wanted to tell you about that because I don't know if you've
Yes.
ever heard of that, but I know you
Yeah.
have a baby coming. So,
Yeah.
that was like really
That's
fun.
cool.
I was a teacher for like 7 years. And
Right
I
on.
really liked it a lot. In Austin at two different schools. One school I really loved. And that was really, I loved that job. But, I think like, when I was doing that job too, I feel like I had a little bit more hobbies because I was like, I'd go to work and then I'd, work with the kids for a long time. And then outside of that, I'd be like, okay, I need to like go decompress and do yoga because I worked with
Mhm.
like 18 months to 3.
Mhm.
But it was fun and I loved it. But the responsibility aspect was really scary for me just because I had like 12 kids in my class and I had to
Mhm.
like manage 2 assistants also. And so and managing like communicating with like all the families all the time. It was just like a lot for me.
Mhm. Well, I
So
mean, yeah, it's a lot. I mean, and that's good that you care,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the opposite of a lot of people that are responsible for education in this country.
True.
Right now,
I
I
loved
feel
it.
like so
Yeah.
that, I mean, that speaks volumes that you cared, but it
Yeah.
can, yeah, it can burn you out and then like,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, these aren't my kids.
Yeah. No, yeah. And
Like,
like they were so like fun and it was weird because like
little
every
socks.
year we'd get or like every half year we'd get a new group. Some would move up. Every time like
Mhm.
the 3-year-olds when they would turn 3, they would move up to the other classroom. But like
Mhm.
sometimes they'd move up a little before kind of just was based on like their development. They would just develop faster and like
Yeah.
I noticed like whenever they'd get old enough to start like telling poo poo pee pee jokes, like that was when they had to go. Like that
I
was when
love
they were
that.
ready for like the next
The
step.
Mhm.
So but yeah,
That's
they were
funny.
fun and I did circle time a lot. So like I remember like when I first started doing that job, I was so nervous to do circle time in front of just like toddlers.
Mhm.
And eventually I kind of gotten like this like I don't even know what you call it, but like kind of like a I don't know the word for it, like a flow state with
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope one day I'm like that in comedy. Like, I
Yeah.
hope one day I could just like be in the flow of it. I feel like
You will be.
I get little tastes of it sometimes, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I think I just got to keep doing it longer and
You do.
get more confident.
Mhm.
But
It's just
yeah,
repetition.
and it makes sense. Did
Mhm.
you go to like traditional school or what was your school like?
Um, no, my schooling journey was interesting.
Okay.
Um, so I was born in Dallas. Um, my mom moved to Mississippi, got married.
Yeah.
So I started my schooling in Mississippi at a really small private school. So I went
Wow.
to pre-K and kindergarten there.
Okay.
Then my mom was like, I hate Mississippi. We're moving back to Texas.
Okay.
We moved back to Texas, and then I went to public school. So
Yep.
I went to public school from first grade to fourth grade, and the school I went to in Mississippi, Newton Academy,
Mhm.
had everybody like reading and writing cursive when we were really young because the classes were small because it was a
Oh.
tiny community.
Right, right, right.
So I was like ahead of everybody in my class when
Oh,
I
that's
went to
nice.
public school. And my teachers told my parents in fourth grade, they were like, if you don't put her somewhere else or homeschool her, like, she's just gonna fall in line with everybody else. But,
Whoa.
like, I don't know if you did AR reading points and stuff like that when you were a
I can't
kid.
remember.
But I was just like crushing books because I was bored, you know.
Damn. That's good though.
So I went to private school again in 5th grade.
Okay.
Went to Catholic school, and then I went to Episcopalian school, and then I went to a Catholic school, and then an Episcopalian school, and then I ended up graduating from a Catholic school.
Holy shit.
So I bounced around a lot in Dallas. I went
Okay.
to 5 different private schools in Dallas.
Wow.
So it was interesting. And then I went to college at Ole Miss where I met Jonathan.
Okay.
And by that time I was completely academically burnt out. Like I
Really?
tried and I cared, but I had to work. And so I was just like, who gives a shit?
That is hard to
there
try to
was-
balance those two things.
It was really tough. Yeah, college was tough.
What'd you go to school
For
for?
me. So I have a BS in psychology.
Oh, cool.
I thought I wanted to be a doctor. And
Yep.
then the deeper I got into medicine, the more I realized that I didn't think that I could serve people the best way through that means. Because I know you know enough about me to probably know that I'm like pretty anti-Western medicine at this
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
which is ironic because when I was younger, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a pediatrician.
But that model wasn't
But the
what you
model
liked.
wasn't really what I wanted. So yeah, when
Yep.
I was in college, like in pre-med and stuff, by the time I graduated with my psych degree and I was a class shy of having a biology degree as well, I was like,
Wow.
I love learning about physiology, but I don't think that I want to practice it this way, you
Okay.
know? So yeah, and then I just became a bartender, but
Yeah.
Catholic school was good. I think it was good to have structure. I
Okay.
went to an all-girls high school,
That's nice.
which is a unique experience.
That is.
But I really loved it.
Okay.
High school was cool for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. You like had a pretty good experience with school.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't love school, but I also just did public school. Like
Yeah.
and I was in like a small town in northern Maine
In
where,
Maine.
yeah, and it was like it was a small school. I just didn't really do well with authority. So like
Sure.
I would do good if I liked the teacher,
Mhm.
but if I
Yeah.
didn't like the teacher, I just like wouldn't do my homework and I just was
Blow it
a bad
off.
student.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I would have done better in a different setting, like something private. Like I like
Mm.
Montessori, but I only taught like very young kids. But even
Mhm.
like the older classrooms, I liked it because like they didn't get to decide what they learned, but they got to kind of like decide the order of what they did. So
Yeah.
they had a lot less like authority and like there wasn't really any
Oh, yeah.
punishment type stuff.
Yeah.
So I liked.
Mhm.
I think I would have been a better Montessori kid, but I don't really
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
That's just my excuse for
Learning
being a shitty student.
should be dynamic. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's kind of ridiculous to think that all kids will learn the same way when we all have different brains
For
and
sure.
different upbringings too. I mean,
Definitely.
everybody's home life is different.
Yeah.
And, some kids are really stressed out. Some kids aren't.
Yeah, I was very stressed because my
You
parents
know,
argued
it's
a
like-
lot at
Mhm.
home. So it was kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Sometimes I go to school and I was like, yeah, this shit doesn't matter. I gotta like,
Yeah.
or I was addicted to The Sims. I just wanted to play The Sims. I remember being in
Oh,
class and
mhm.
just like daydreaming about like when I'd get
About
home and
play,
just play The
yeah.
Sims for
A
hours.
different game.
Yeah.
No, I definitely went through a gaming phase when
You
I was a
did?
kid too. Oh yeah, games. I still fucking game. It's hilarious.
You do? Like, what do you
Even
play?
now when I'm pregnant?
I love that.
I'm like,
What's
it's
your
so
favorite game?
uncomfortable. I play Apex Legends
Okay.
with my husband on Xbox.
Cool.
And his little brother sometimes. Ian will play with us. So that's a large part of it is like
Yeah.
honestly like being on Xbox Live and like talking to them and
Yeah,
feeling
yeah.
like a bro for a minute,
Yeah.
But growing up, my little brother was always very into video games, and we're
Okay.
5 years apart, and so we've never been like enemies, but we weren't
Yeah.
super close when we were younger.
Okay.
And so we would like our bonding time was through video games.
That's
So
cool.
we like grew up playing PlayStation together and like Guitar Hero. And,
Nice.
and we would play with my dad, like, because he worked a lot. And so when he was
Yeah.
home, like, it was kind of our little, moment.
Yeah.
We would, shoot zombies or, play
love
guitar
that.
or whatever.
I used to
So-
play a zombies game too. Like
Yeah.
it was like Call of Duty.
Call of Duty
Yeah, yeah,
zombies?
Nazi zombies.
Yeah,
I love that. I used to like love to get high and like play that with my friends.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I wasn't
Xbox
that
when you're
good.
stoned is a great time.
Yeah. I used to like Skyrim a lot. I haven't played
Skyrim?
that
Oh,
in
okay.
a long. It's an old game now, but
Mhm.
I played that.
No, I'm familiar
Yeah.
because my brother was so into the culture, and
Yeah.
my husband has 3 brothers, and
Okay.
they all game. And so his
Yeah.
older brother is like I'm like trying to think. He does web design.
Nice.
Um, but he's more than that. I don't know. He's probably some kind of engineer, and I just like don't fathom exactly what he does.
I get that.
But he gamed. Jonathan grew up playing games. Like, it's funny because it's just a part of my life, and it always has been. And it
Okay.
is kind of a subculture. And like, I
Yeah.
forget sometimes, but like, I've made jokes on stage before about like Apex or whatever, and like nobody knows what the fuck, or I'll talk about Twitch, and I'm like, oh, you're all over 40.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
know what I'm talking about. But
Do you guys stream on Twitch ever?
no, we don't, but I've told him before that I feel like we should. And
Yeah, you
he's
should.
like, the window is closed. Like, everybody's already made it. Nick Merckx and Ninja and Tim the
Yeah.
Tatman and all these people. And I'm like, but if we were a married couple streaming, that's funny.
And
I
that's
was like,
unique. Yeah.
right?
Her and I did a little bit of Twitch, like when
Yeah?
we first met, and
Yeah.
we were playing like co-op video games together, where we were trying to like beat it, and then eventually we just ended up gambling because that was like,
Oh, yeah.
we were just playing like
Mhm.
blackjack for real money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did it like a bunch of times, and it was fun. But it's one of those things where if you're doing comedy, you have to be as consistent. Like if you
Mhm.
really want to do Twitch,
Right.
you'd have to do it every day and
Right.
for hours.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
What?
But if
Yeah.
you're already playing
Yeah.
video games.
That's why we have this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were-
so like that
I
little
thought I
cute
was
little
gonna
mic.
use
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've told him before, but that's just the thing, right? Is like when we were in Denver too, because I didn't play games for a while. I was out of it for like probably a good 6 years. I
Okay.
wasn't really gaming, because I worked a lot.
Yeah.
But Jonathan worked from home for a long time while I was working as a bartender,
Oh, okay.
and so he could like, if he had 30 minutes, he would fucking fire up Fortnite and play a game or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. So he never really took a break from it. But I told him before, like, I think it would be funny, but you're not wrong. It is like all consuming. So
Yeah.
you really have to put in the time and commit to the setup.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Right now, if there is some sort of hybrid where like it could be streams, you could be playing video games, but have guests. Like I want to try to do something like that where it's like
yeah.
it can be cut up for YouTube as well.
Uh-huh.
And like
Yeah,
there's
because
a
that's how people consume.
and have
Yeah.
other comedians
Mhm.
like playing games and stuff. Like
That
I've
could
been
be fun.
kind of throwing that idea around.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here for that project whenever it comes to fruition.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's great. And I mean, that's why people watch, because I've watched people play and I'm like, oh, you're not good at this, but you're
Yep.
funny. And,
Yep.
you have people in chat interacting with you, and that's all you really need it's the entertainment aspect. Not everybody has to be a top tier gamer.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Like all the people that I mentioned. I mean, I don't I don't know if Tim the Tatman's ever won anything, but I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
like Nick Merckx and Ninja and like a lot of those guys were, they were winning shit before it was a big deal.
Okay.
So
That is interesting.
but yeah, no, games are super fun. I think that it's a better outlet than some others.
Yeah.
But
No, I agree.
it is addicting, and it does definitely spike your cortisol. So since I've been pregnant, I try to cut it at like an hour. I'm like, I could play for like an hour, but then I get like too hyped up and I'm like, my blood pressure is high. I need to get off. Like, these 8-year-olds are pissing me off right now.
Yeah. I get that.
So
That is funny. That
Yeah.
must make it different, I guess, when you're pregnant, because you're probably like,
oh my
you
God.
don't want your hormone levels or like
Yeah,
stress
I'm not-
levels to get
yeah,
high.
I'm
so
not
you're
trying
like,
to stress
yeah.
out the fetus. Like,
For sure.
I'll get like I'm like, my heart rate's probably 130 BPM right now. And then like, she's like moving around like crazy. And I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Aw.
Like,
So she though, that's
Yeah,
cool.
she, yeah.
Did you have a preference or were you like whatever?
no, I was just here for whatever.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I do tell a lot of jokes about it, but this is my 5th pregnancy
Oh,
that
okay.
I've known about. So I was just like grateful to make it past 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever's in there,
Yeah.
I'm here for it. So
I love that.
so yeah, we found out early. We didn't keep it a secret
Oh,
or
okay.
anything. Like the anatomy scan at like 18, 19 weeks. We're like, no, tell us. And I could see, when she was wanding, I was like, oh my God, it's a girl. And she was like, yes, it's a girl.
I love it. That's so
So,
cool. I'm excited for you.
Thank
Were you like so you planned this pregnancy
Yeah.
or you were excited?
I was open to being pregnant. I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Because we were trying. I mean, so I came off of contraceptives when I was 27.
Okay.
So that was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And that honestly was what sparked like my whole health, you know, run, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
I have said journey a lot already, and I don't love that. It's just a part of our vernacular now that people say journey all the time. But
for sure.
whenever I came off of birth control, when I was 27, I was like thinking, okay, you know, like in the next 3 years, I'll probably be able to have a kid because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what we always thought. We thought by the time we were 30, we would have a kid. And then it was just like I would get a positive test and it would not make it very far.
Okay.
And I was like, what the fuck is wrong? You know?
Okay.
And people are like, oh, it's common to have miscarriages and it's, you know, like it happens to a lot of women. And I'm like, no, but something's wrong though. Cause my
Okay.
body is like trying to get pregnant and
Yeah.
then it's obviously killing the fetus for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So then I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease when I was a little bit older. And I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, that's probably it. Cause like
Okay.
cortisol is a huge factor for women. Like if
Right.
you're too stressed out, your body's like, we can't deal with this, you know?
Oh, okay, okay.
So that's one thing. But then just like nutrition in general, you
Yep.
know, and people, I was getting to the age, you know, around 32, and they're like, oh, you want to try IVF or, you know,
Oh
do
my
you want to
God.
do hormone treatments? And I'm like, well, I don't because if my body's not ready for this, then
Yeah.
I'm going to have a really miserable time.
Yeah.
Or I'll pay all this money, get pregnant, and then lose it again anyway.
Damn. Yeah.
So I was kind of, it was just like we had a real just let God have
Okay.
it kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
attitude about it.
That's smart though.
And so we were just like, well, if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. And if it doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't, you know? But then lo and behold, I found out on July 7th I was pregnant and we just waited until October to tell anybody.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I
Um,
remember when you told me and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool."
yeah.
That is like,
So
oh,
yeah,
it is
we,
crazy like like I know like you don't love the term journey, but like
so
it
the
is kind of
journey,
like with trying to get pregnant, like it's hard for
yeah.
a lot of people and it is
Hmm.
common. And
Yeah.
also like the hormone shift, that's probably difficult like
Hmm.
to have had that shift so many times.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, it was just shitty because it's
yeah.
like it's shitty already because it's hard on your body,
Yeah.
especially the first trimester. I was so tired. Like I'm tired now, but in the first trimester, I was just like falling asleep. You know, like
Really? Oh my
I
God.
would just like sit there and fall asleep at home,
Yeah.
because your hormones are spiking so much, like to
Yeah.
help build this fetus. And yeah, so it really sucked. And like the first miscarriage I had was definitely the worst one because that one was the furthest along.
Damn.
But it just like, yeah, it's terrible because you're excited,
Yeah.
and then you don't want to be cynical about
For
it.
sure, for
And
sure.
so you're just like taking care of yourself and like going about your life and trying to make this thing grow. And then it's just like, oh, there's fucking blood everywhere. And
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
a horrible nightmare.
For
So,
sure.
yeah, it sucks. I mean, I would not recommend miscarriage to any women out there. It's
Yeah.
it's not fun.
Yeah,
But I mean, thankfully, especially when you're with a supportive person
for
and you
sure.
have a real companion who loves you and
Yeah.
won't, I mean, it's hard for some people like they break up because they can't have kids or because they do get pregnant and they weren't planning on it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that Jonathan was always just, there and supportive and like, well, I mean, if it's, we're supposed to have a kid, we will, but
Yeah.
fuck it, what can we do?
I know it is
So,
stressful and like you do I feel like giving it to God is the best way because then it's
yeah.
just kind of like out of your you just like are like okay, it's out of
Yeah,
my
I mean,
control.
you have to relinquish it because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really beyond you, and like even the fact that like you get pregnant and then your body like knows how to just like grow a spine. You know what I mean? Like all of
Yeah.
it's so like insane and otherworldly
Yeah.
almost. It's like no, it's definitely like, divine in its own way.
Yeah. Do you
Um
feel like you know your baby already? Sometimes I hear about people dreaming and stuff about their baby. Like, do you feel like connected in that way yet? Or are you kind of like, is it like abstract?
It's very abstract for
Okay.
sure. Right now, there's a point where you just feel like you're trapping them, like because
Yeah.
they move around so much, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you can come out whenever you're ready because
Yeah.
I'm 3 days away from being 36 weeks, and 36 to 42 weeks is your window for safe delivery. So
Okay.
I mean, I'm there. Like I'm
Yeah.
at the end of it. I could be pregnant another month. I hope that I'm not.
Yeah.
But it is it's a curious thing because I don't really want to have any preconceived notions about how she will be.
I get that.
Um so I'm just through all of the ultrasounds and everything, I'm just like, as long as everything's functioning, she has 2 kidneys, she
Mhm.
has 10 fingers, you know, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's all I really care about, you know. I
I
don't
love
really
that.
care if she loves comedy, that's great. If she doesn't, that's okay too, you know. I have no idea what she's going to be like.
Yeah.
I just want her to like feel joy more often than not and
Yeah.
feel safe and
And she will. You're gonna be such a
oh,
good mom. Like you're a
thanks.
good person. And she's lucky she's gonna have a funny mom who does comedy. Like that's so
Well,
rare.
she
Like
has been on stage many times already.
yeah.
So I'm like, you know, she sometimes it's funny because she moves almost every time I'm on stage. And I'm like, I don't know if it's the light that's
Okay.
really stimulating because the light's so bright,
That
but
could
I'm
be.
like, oh, she's definitely here with me.
I like that. Are
Yeah.
there any jokes that you're like, I don't want her to hear that one one day? Or like, does it change the way you write? Because like sometimes I think about that where I'm like, if I ever have kids, like, oh my God, I can't believe like they might hear that thing I said one time or but
I know I do think about that. I do. I mean, honestly, no. I'm not
yeah.
really too concerned about it, but frankly, I mean, I don't know. I'm just not very crass. Like
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of sexual
Yeah,
jokes.
that's
I
true.
don't have a lot of like shit and piss kind of style jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't have any like stories about porn or
Yeah,
being in a
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like so I most of my stuff, I mean, if anything, you know, it's like dark and depressing.
yeah.
Maybe.
But it's not
But
embarrassing.
it's not necessarily
Yeah,
embarrassing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, where I would be like, "Oh god, you know,
That's good.
I don't want her to hear about that,
Yeah.
you know, golden shower story that I have."
Right. Yeah. No, I get
Um,
that. Your
yeah.
jokes aren't like dirty.
No, I've never been drawn to it. I've tried
Yeah.
before, like for the sake of pandering when I very first started, but it doesn't come off right because I'm uncomfortable telling
Right,
it.
right.
So it's just not my vibe. You
I get
know,
that.
it's like Jim Gaffigan can do 10 minutes on ketchup and nobody else can. You
Yeah.
know, like we all have our thing
Yeah.
and dirty jokes just aren't really my thing. Um
That's funny.
but yeah, no, I just want her to, you know, just be chill and she's going to have a great diet and
Yeah. That's very lucky.
so yeah, we'll just, you know, take care of her and see what happens.
Yeah, I like that. Just not having expectations because I feel
Mhm.
like kids come into the world as like who they are.
Yeah.
Like I do love that. Like
Yeah.
when I worked with toddlers, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like sometimes I'd have a kid in my class who's like
Mhm.
2 and it was like their personality seemed like an old person. Like
Right.
an old man or an old woman kind
Yeah.
of the way they'd
I
interact
mean,
with the other kids.
they
I'd be
have a
like
soul.
yeah, I'm
It's
like
wild. I'm like, you have a soul and like a fully functioning brain. I
yeah.
mean, albeit not fully developed yet, but I mean,
Right.
it's there. Like, so, you know, I mean, and it's funny, we were in the car last night driving, listening to the new J. Cole album, and like
Nice.
she was moving a lot. And I was like, I know they respond to like bass and stuff, but I was like, yo, I wonder if she's gonna be into like, you know,
Yeah.
hip hop the way that Jonathan really is, or whatever it is, you know.
I love that.
Because you don't know. But I mean, she was exposed to a lot of it in utero,
Yeah.
so I feel like it will calm her. Like they
Yeah.
say, you know, like the auditory stimulation from when they were in you will serve you when they're out of the womb.
I feel like
So
you're right.
I'm
That's
like, I'll just
cool.
turn on some Mac Miller and she'll go right to sleep.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
That would be great.
That could definitely happen
Yeah,
for sure.
that could happen.
So what kind of music do you like the most?
Oh, it's tough. I mean, I've been with Jonathan for a long time. Before I was with him, I really was not into rap
Okay.
as much. I knew like I bought a Ludacris album when I was 11 and my parents were like, "What is this?" You know, it was like fried chicken and beer, whatever that album cover
Oh,
is.
I love that. Oh my god.
And like Missy Elliott, you know, but I was mostly into like rock because my
Yeah.
dad was into rock. My uncle was a professional drummer for a long time. So I got exposed to a lot of classic rock, a lot of like pop punk culture.
Yeah.
So I was super emo kid. I
Oh,
like
really? Okay.
fucking oh yeah.
I love
It was
that.
I had a chain wallet.
Oh my
It
god.
was yeah. I
That
was
is so funny.
badass.
Yeah.
Skateboarded.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, you lived my dream.
Oh
I
my
always wanted to
God.
skateboard. I wasn't allowed to.
Oh no.
My dad was always scared I was going to get into drugs, so he's like,
That's so funny. It's
no
a high
skateboarding.
That's it, chicken and beer.
Oh my god. I
That was
love
it, and my
that.
parents were like,
That's so
Yeah.
funny. I liked rap.
But
Like I probably
mhm.
listened to that album too. But
Yeah.
I
Hell
also
yeah.
didn't really get into rap that much until like a little bit later.
Mhm.
I liked Eminem when I was like in 4th grade.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I was
he's
like
legend. I mean,
rapping in his
he's the
songs in 4th
GOAT, yeah. I mean, so I knew, like, all the big names, but I was
Yeah.
very, like and then I got kinda indie when I
Yeah.
was, like, in high school,
Yeah.
listening to, like, the fucking Shins or whatever
Yeah.
and the Strokes, and then, but in college, Jonathan really, like, just he, like, only listened to rap, and
Okay.
so I was like, "Okay, like, we're gonna see what this is all about for real," you
How did
know?
you guys meet in college? Like in a classroom or
So we met at, I was in a sorority.
Oh, wow.
I it was tough. It was a dark time for me.
Really?
I did not like it. Yeah, I
Oh
was
my
in
god.
Phi Mu for a minute at Ole Miss, and at Ole Miss, it's just a huge part of like the culture there. The
Okay.
Greek life is a big deal, and my mom was in a sorority when she was in college, so she was like, "Oh, I want you to be in one," and
Wow.
I was like, "I'll give it a shot," but I did not have a good time.
Okay.
But my big sister in the sorority, she was dating the pledge trainer of the Christian fraternity.
Okay.
And so, because I didn't really like being at Ole Miss, like I didn't
Okay.
really want to go there. It was a whole like kind of a very apprehensive vibe on my part to go
Okay.
there, but it's where I got the biggest academic scholarship. So
Well,
my
you had to
parents
go
were like,
there.
well, and I also had family in the state.
Yeah.
So I ended up there, and my big sister's boyfriend um, was like, leading all the pledges or whatever in this Christian fraternity. And
Yeah.
she was like, there's this one guy that I think you'd really like. And so after one of our like mixers or whatever swaps, whatever the fuck that shit was called, like the
Uh-huh.
forced social interaction that you have to do
Oh
with other
god.
fraternities,
Yeah.
which I always hated because
Yeah.
everybody was already fucked up. I still
Yeah.
didn't drink. Like I
Oh,
hadn't
okay.
really, I
Yeah.
was like very straight edge, very nervous
Yeah.
and anxious, and it just wasn't it wasn't my kind of energy.
Yeah.
So I hated doing all this stuff. And and we went over to her boyfriend's apartment and all the pledges were there.
Okay.
And so it was a much more approachable environment for me because all the pledges had to be sober. So I was like, well, at least
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
around men who are not, falling over drunk or
Yeah,
like trying to grab my ass or whatever.
for sure.
So he was there, and yeah, one of his pledge brothers had been asking me out already, and I kept denying him. And so he was there. Um and yeah, but I sat down next to Jonathan, and he was really quiet, which kind of annoyed me,
Okay.
but it's intriguing. And I was
True.
18,
Oh,
and I was like,
wow.
"Oh, wow, he doesn't want to talk to me. I wonder what his deal is."
Oh, that's so funny.
And then on our way out, he was like jogging out the door, and he was like, "Do you guys want to go to Huddle House with us? We're gonna go get some waffles." And I was
Oh, yeah.
like, "Oh, now you want to talk to me?" So yeah, that's how we met. And then, I mean, honestly, we just kept hanging out, and we're
Nice.
inseparable ever since. Yeah.
That's really cool though.
hmm
Like that you got to meet each other when you were so young. So you never did dating apps or anything then, right?
No, I mean, I think Tinder had just become a thing.
Okay.
Like, app dating had just become a reality in like 2011 or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
was. So yeah, thank God I never had to
Yeah.
go through that
I've
because
heard that's
that's
like a
terrible.
nightmare. I've never done it either. Like I've never had to use a dating
Yeah,
app.
how did you guys meet?
I met him actually just through comedy. But I was in a long-term relationship before I met him. And like it didn't end up working out, but so yeah, like I've kind of like been pretty sheltered with like the dating app
hmm
like
I'm.
stuff, but I've heard it's crazy for a lot of people.
I mean, some people get married,
But some people like
you
no,
know,
yeah, they meet their partner on it, but I've
but
just heard like
it's
I
like
don't
a
know.
roulette wheel.
Yeah.
I feel like the odds are stacked against you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some people get murdered.
and some people get murdered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't love what dating apps have done to like building honest relationships with people, I guess.
Yeah, because maybe sometimes people are like thinking about like, oh, maybe there's someone better. Like I've heard like on dates,
Yeah,
like people will be like
people
swiping
on the
on.
fucking app.
Yeah, like that's
I'm
so
like,
bad.
put your phone down.
Yeah.
That's so disrespectful. Even if you feel like you're not physically attracted to the person, whatever, like give them the time of day. Like you
I
both went out of your
know.
way to meet here in person. Like just chill. and try to
Yeah.
bond with another human for a second. You don't have to see them again if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have some, and I'm sure you guys do too, like have great people in your lives who
Yeah.
try and they go on these dates and you're like, I don't get why people are ghosting you. I don't get why, you were
Yeah.
going out with this guy for 4 weeks and now he's like blowing you off when you
Yeah.
really liked him. Like, or whatever it may be. I mean, one of our best guy friends from college,
Mhm.
he's been with somebody here now in Austin for a couple of years, but he's just like one of the best people I know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, why, he would go on dates with girls from apps and it would just be like a one-off or,
Dang.
2 or 3 dates and then they move on. And I'm like, is this just the culture? It seems like
I
it's the
feel like it
culture.
is changing in that way
Yeah.
maybe where people are like
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
as like wanting a partner, they're just like wanting experiences or something. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it seems
Whatever
weird.
that means.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like you
like,
can experience a whole life with somebody else. I mean, I've been with
yeah.
my husband for 15 years and I can't say that I
Yeah.
regret, that we've like
Yeah.
grown up together,
No, I think that's really cool. And
you
like
know?
it sounds like you guys are also friends.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's important too. Cause
Yeah.
like you have to be with like that person for a long time. Like you would want to be
Yeah.
sometimes people like aren't looking for a friend. And I'm like, why? Like I feel like that's the most important thing about
You
being with
have to be
somebody.
friends
Yeah.
because there comes a point like where you're companions.
Yeah.
Well, like, I
For
mean,
sure.
it's all you get all these hormones and you're in love and all that, but like things shift over time when you build
Yeah.
relationships with people and they evolve. And like, I guess people are just scared of evolving or they don't want to change or like think somebody's going
Yeah.
to challenge them to be better. And they're like, I'm already happy with who I am. Because I
Yeah.
think we live in a very confident time too,
Yeah. People are so confident
which
sometimes. I'm like,
there's nothing wrong
I
with
wish I
being
was more
confident.
confident sometimes.
But I'm just like, yeah, I don't like the audacity with which people approach a lot of things in
Yeah, I
this
get
life
that.
anymore. It's like,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And
yeah.
like a lot of times too, I don't know if you've had this experience where like people perceive you a certain way because you're a female comic. Like one time
Oh,
this
sure.
guy like came up to me and I was at Creek just I think I was waiting to go up on Banana Phone or something. I was like getting a drink
Hmm.
and a guy came up to me at the bar and was like, what are you doing here by yourself? And I was like, oh, I'm a comedian. And he was like, really? And he was like, oh, so you're a slut or you're a whore? And I was like, no. I was like, what? And he's like, female comics are whores. So I was like, I don't think that's true. Like, I'm
It's
sure like
not
anyone can be a whore.
true.
Like, what the hell? Like, and he was like, yeah, I can't even get my wife to come to these things. He's like hitting on me and he had a wife. I was like, what the hell is happening? And then he went up and bombed. I was like,
I love it. I love when you meet somebody
I was like, he deserved that.
who rubs you the wrong way and then they go up and they bomb and you're like, yeah, you fucking suck, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Ugh.
weird, like the way,
Yeah.
like getting perceived that way is
Hmm.
hard for me because I'm not a clean comic. Like I do say fucked up shit, but I'm
Yeah.
like also like not a horse. I'm like, what the hell? Like I don't know. I guess I just have to like get used to that. Or like the comments on the videos I
Hmm.
post sometimes are so fucked. Like
Yeah. Oh, I'm
people
sure.
like say the craziest. Like I
Mhm.
never can wear an outfit that like doesn't get a comment like
Mhm.
from some man telling me to not wear that outfit. Like
Oh,
it
yeah,
happens
sure.
all the time, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm just trying to be myself. Like I don't
Hmm.
understand the weirdness, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I do appreciate about comedy, like in the realm of show business.
Yeah.
I feel like it is that it's the most authentic, I guess you could say in a way,
Yeah.
because a lot of comics, most comics, I would say, are older,
Yeah.
like over 30 in a committed relationship of some kind, or at the very least know who they are because
True.
of what they do. And so there it's very much of like friends kind of lift each other up. Like Bill
Yeah.
Burr, produces a lot of people's specials, like Steph Tolev and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so it's a culture, like a community, not so much like like what girl's gonna fuck me for time. I know that still happens,
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
but I feel like there's less of it than like in the music industry or the movies,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of thing. Like
That
it's
is
not
true.
as predatory
Yeah.
as some other aspects of show business because that definitely is a problem, as we all know.
Yeah.
But comedy, it's like more just, real. People are like, ultimately at the end of the day, you're going to get where you're going in comedy if you're funny because you
Yeah.
will find your audience and people will buy tickets. And that's all that the club wants. The club just
Yeah,
wants
they
to sell
don't
tickets.
care.
They don't
They're
care.
just like as
Yeah.
long as like
They don't care what you
you
look like. I mean,
Yeah.
how many comics are absolutely hideous?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, like,
Sometimes I feel
really,
like that's
what do you
nice
mean?
probably because then like I don't
Yeah.
know, like I feel like sometimes it takes a minute for when like you see a woman go up. I don't
Mhm.
know. Sometimes I feel like there's like a weird
Mhm.
tension or something
Sure.
that I'm like, if I was a fat guy, maybe
Yeah, no,
there
I know what you
wouldn't be
mean.
as much tension. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Or like
Uh-huh.
people have been nice for the most part, but one time somebody after I like went up at an open mic at Shakespeare's, this guy was like, "If you laughed at her jokes, it's just because you want to fuck her." And I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like he
That's
also
fucked up.
had no jokes. Like he went up and proceeded to have no jokes. Like that was his whole thing, and I was just like, "What the hell?"
Oh,
Like
I
I don't
know.
think it works like that.
Haters gonna hate, man.
I know. I was like, I think if people like, honestly, like, I don't think people laugh because they want to have sex with you. I just don't think that's how like laughter and jokes work.
No, it's really not.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
genuine laughter is, yeah, like a physiological response
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can't really control. So,
It's so weird.
yeah, it's weird.
And there are a lot less like female comics, at least in Austin. I've heard it's like there's more in other areas. But
Mm.
I do feel like a lot of the females I've met in comedy are super genuinely nice. So I've loved
Yeah.
that. Cause like
Yeah.
I have a hard time like making friends because I'm very
Mm.
awkward socially.
Mhm.
But I feel like I've met like some of the nicest people like you. Audrey's really nice
Mhm.
and like super genuine.
Mhm.
She also has like a rough side, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love when she like is
She's a little punk rocker.
yeah, she is totally like she's got
Rebel.
that vibe.
Mhm.
Like and
Yeah.
I don't know. So like that's been kind of the interesting thing too. But I'm only a year into, so I'm just kind of like figuring it all out
No, I
still.
mean, I would agree. The Austin scene is really approachable. Like people are generally kind.
Yeah, yeah.
People are not going to be assholes because the people who we're so close to, Joe Rogan and Hinchcliffe and Tom Segura and Christina Pajitsky are here. Like this whole world of professional comics are here.
Yeah.
So it's like people uh, are more worried about impressing all of them and not so much about snubbing other people that are,
Yeah.
when we're all like in this pond together.
Yeah, that's
It's like
true.
we're all just vying for the attention of the people that are literally performing next door. So
Yeah.
it's like we're all just,
We're all kind of even though we're at different levels, like we're all kind of trying to do the same thing and
yeah. So it's like there's mutual respect.
yeah.
It's like when UFC fighters will beat the shit out of each other and then they hug and like shake hands at the end
Yeah,
and they're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
good
yeah.
fight. Like that's how it feels here. Like, generally speaking,
For sure.
we respect each other for, trying.
For sure.
There's
And
some
I
people I don't like, and it's because I'm like, you don't try and you annoy me and your jokes are bad. You know what
yeah,
I
me
mean?
too. I and
So,
like also just like I feel like as a newer comic where I'm just like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure things out. I'm like, don't
hmm
judge me yet, like, because I'm too new. Like,
yeah.
give me a chance, and
And you
I'll
shouldn't,
get better.
I mean, yeah, it's a platform to just be yourself.
Yeah,
That's what comedy is, in a nutshell.
and I love it because
So,
like I feel like I've always been trying to fit into like a different box, like depending on what my career was. Like I was always trying to like
mhm.
tone down parts of myself, especially at like a young age where I
Yeah.
feel like I didn't really get to have like a great growing up experience like just being a kid because when I was in
Mhm.
my early 20s I was like already trying to like be a professional like teacher and like try to
Yeah.
look older because I was always people would look at me and be like, oh my god, like you're too young, like you shouldn't have all these responsibilities, or I felt they didn't trust me because I looked too young,
Mhm.
so I was always trying
Sure.
to like fit in or like look older and look more professional.
More
And
professional,
so
yeah.
I tried to kind of like kill off parts of myself, and now I'm like
Mhm.
trying to bring them back. And so
Yeah.
that's like a weird thing, but I've never been happier. So I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But I think we're the same age actually.
Are
Are
we?
you 34?
Mhm.
I'm also 30. Well, I'm almost 34.
Really?
Yeah, in
You look
March.
incredible.
Thank you. So do you. I was like doing the math
Thanks.
when you were saying like when you started comedy and
Uh-huh.
like so I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, we're around the same. But yeah, I'm like it's weird though too because like everybody has been doing it. Well, not everybody, but most people have been doing it longer than me, and most people are younger than me. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like they're my mentors are like
I've
younger.
I had to get over that too, girl, when I started
Yep.
doing it because I had like a period after the first year when I was like, I missed my window, like
Oh, really? Yeah.
because Dave Chappelle started when he was
Oh, yeah.
16 and
Yeah.
like Matt Rife when he was 15 and it's like, no, that's all bullshit. It's just
Yeah.
excuses you make up in your head. Like, you're never
Yeah.
too old to try something new or be successful at something different.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like fucking Frida Kahlo didn't paint until she was like 40 or something.
Yeah, I heard that.
So,
Also, Oprah was like
yeah.
40, I think, or
hmm
something. So it's like
Yeah.
everyone has a
There are a
different
lot of
timeline.
actors who didn't do shit until they were in their 30s or
Yeah.
40s. People that start businesses in their 50s. It's like if you have the drive
Yeah,
and you have the focus, then you can really do whatever you want,
for sure.
but you just have to like own your reality.
For sure.
And it took me a long time. Like it sounds like you went through the same thing where it was like you were kind of in a system and you were trying to just succeed
Yeah.
in that kind of, that path. Like you were on this road and you were like, well, I'm going wherever this leads, and you didn't want to take an exit.
Yeah,
And that's how I felt too
for
until
sure.
I was like 27. And then I was like, why do I keep trying to do medicine when I'll like apply to nursing school and then don't go to class? Or
Yeah.
I became an EMT, but then I was like, I don't want to do this. And then why would I be a paramedic? I was a pharmacy tech for a minute and I was
Okay.
like, I hate this. So I was like, I
Yeah.
kept trying these things and I was like, this obviously isn't where I belong.
Yeah.
But it took me 9 years to figure that out,
Yeah, and I think that
you
it
know?
does have good like aspects too, because like then you do really know yourself. Like I think if
Hmm.
I would have
Yeah.
started to if when I was 17, like I wouldn't have had a lot of life experience to really draw from.
Right.
So I'm happy, like I'm
Yeah.
just happy to be doing it. And so I'm
Right.
like, I can't get bogged down about how much older I am than all these people that are better
No.
than me. Like I
No,
just have to
you
kind of keep
you
going.
can't. I mean, and even Dane Cook was somebody who was closer to our age, I think, when he really took off,
Oh,
or
really?
he was like 28, 29, or whatever,
Yeah.
when he kind of shot to fame. And it's like you can't know. I mean, and some people
Yeah,
put in so much work you don't even know before you find out who they are,
for sure.
Like, so you just have to like welcome life's experiences,
Yeah.
learn from what you can. And yeah, I have a wealth of material from all the weird jobs that I had and
Yeah.
all the bartending experiences that I would not have had if I had been doing stand up in college.
Yeah.
So like I'm grateful for all of it, but now, especially since I'm about to have my first kid, I'm
Yeah,
like, all right, I really got to lock it in
for sure.
because I want to be a passionate parent and I want her to see that you can do whatever and not
Yeah.
have to be miserable caught in the system,
I love that.
you
And
know?
that is really cool that you get to like have that experience of like teaching a child that,
Mhm.
because a lot of people kind of don't even know what their dreams are, I think, or
Yeah.
like maybe they had a dream but they were too scared to do it.
Right.
And
Yeah, and you're scared and it's like it really benefits nobody.
for sure.
And
Yeah,
it
cuz
makes a
then
lot
it's
of
like
people
all this
around you
potential,
sad.
you're like
Yeah.
what would I have done if I would have just done it? Like I always
Yeah.
thought I would just die and like never know what it was like to do comedy cuz I was too
Because
scared.
you're scared. I
Yeah.
mean, I was scared too. And then I was
Yeah.
just like, I would just watch hours of stand up on TV and
Yeah.
then just be like, why am I not trying this?
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been doing it for almost 5 years now.
I love that.
I've, I mean, I worked at a comedy club. I've
Yeah.
hosted shows. I've done, 30 minutes on stage before. I've like hit a lot of milestones
For
that,
sure.
years ago I would have been like, oh, you're crazy.
No, yeah.
Like,
It's fun to like learn new
so,
things and surprise yourself
right.
and
Yeah.
get to see how far you've
Mm-hmm.
come from that,
Yeah.
like from the beginning.
Totally.
That is really cool. You're 5 years in. I'm excited to like be 5 years in one day. And like,
Yeah.
I just am like kind of excited about all like the whole like
Yeah.
experience of it. Do you like bartending?
No.
No, I've kind of always wanted to be a bartender.
The short answer is no. Have I enjoyed it before? Sure.
Okay.
I went through, yeah. I mean, I spent a lot of time, most of my adult life bartending.
Okay.
Despite my little deviations into medicine.
Yeah.
I've bartended in a lot of environments. I've made a lot of friends and had a
Okay.
lot of cool experiences because I was a bartender.
I bet.
Did I ever really love being a bartender? No.
Okay.
Because it's the only way to really make money bartending is to honestly work really hard.
Yeah.
And like you have to be, and like I said, I get stressed pretty easily. I'm better now than I used to be, but
Yeah.
especially in my 20s when I wasn't taking as good a care of myself, um, I would be really stressed.
Okay. Okay.
So
I could see
it's
that.
like when you're making good money, you're stressed to the fuck out.
I bet.
Like you're three people deep at the bar, people are like throwing credit cards at you, and
Oh
you're
my
just
God.
like, and you
And
can't
they're
really,
drunk.
yeah, and they're drunk, and it's no way to live.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where like everybody I worked with was pretty much a functioning alcoholic, but it was like that was the only way you
Yeah.
could really survive the environment.
Okay.
Like I even went through a period when I was like, I think I have like alcohol dependency.
Okay.
I wasn't like, drunk all the time, but like at
Yeah.
work I would drink 2 or 3 drinks to
Okay.
get
Okay.
through the shift. And I'm like, well, that's binge drinking. And I'm
Oh, okay.
doing that 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, that makes sense. I never think about
So
that, like drinking to just like kind of like calm down when it's stressful. Like I
Yeah.
feel like, because I do that with comedy a little bit. I'll have one drink before I go up, but I've learned I can't have more than one.
Yeah.
Because then I'm not sharp. And then I'm also
Right.
just trying not to have any. And I usually don't, but sometimes
Mhm.
I will just be like PMSing. I'll be stressed and I'll like have a
Oh,
drink.
sure.
But
I mean,
I don't
yeah.
want to like rely on that because I've heard like whatever you do, it becomes like a habit.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, it is a habit. But yeah,
yeah.
so bartending, it's cool. I mean, I would recommend it for anybody. It's a real. It just like life just punches you in the face,
Yeah.
and you get to see what people are like at their worst, and you get to work with some really great people because you're kind of like family when when
Yeah.
you're working together and like battling all of this. But for
For
me, it was
sure.
just really stressful, and that was the only way to make money was to be stressed out, and it's just not
Yeah.
sustainable.
For sure.
And then I started smoking weed, and then I was like, well, it's hard to bartend when you're stoned.
Oh, really? I
So,
bet.
yeah.
Have you ever done Comedy High?
Yeah.
What is that like?
It's different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice because you don't really like all expectations just go out the fucking window.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I was really high on edibles one time when I did like 10 minutes in a little town outside of Austin. And
Oh,
so I
really?
felt really weird because
I
it was
bet.
like a conservative older crowd.
Oh my
And I
God.
just like, I just tell them, like,
Yeah.
you just end up telling them that you're high to try
That's
to
so
just
funny.
like be like, this is a good blanket excuse for anything you do or don't
I
like,
love
but I
that.
am so stoned right now.
I did it
Um,
one time high at
yeah.
Creek on the booked open mic, but
Mhm.
it was just because somebody like who like works there
Mhm.
offered me to hit it, and I
Mm.
was like, only if you approve. And then I hit it, and they were like, I didn't approve. I was like, fuck. And I don't usually smoke. Like I will usually do gummies. So then
Yeah.
it went okay. I felt a little bit more present, but then I tried a new joke and it bombed. And I was like, I'm high. Like I was doing like I was like,
Yeah.
sorry,
You're
I'm high
like,
right
I'm just
now.
stoned
Yeah.
right
I
now.
was like, I might not do it again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But some people do it, and like so it's interesting to see all the different comics where I'm like, oh, like
Oh
that's a
yeah.
high comic, that comic drinks, that comic sober, like, or
Mhm.
maybe once you do it so long you can do whatever, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but I think most people like at the highest of levels would recommend in general that you just be sober.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some people do like smoking on stage or,
Yeah.
I mean, there are even plenty of settings in comedy now that like facilitate that behavior, like
Right.
drinking based shows, podcasts, whatever. The Green Room here in Austin, which I'm doing a show next
Oh,
week
cool.
at, everybody smokes,
Oh, okay. That's
people smoke
funny.
in the green room at the Green
Oh
Room.
my God, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, but the crowd's stoned too. So that's a different vibe when you're performing for people that are, intoxicated.
Yeah, because then maybe you want to get on their level
Yeah.
sometimes or something. I've heard
Yeah.
like high crowds can like have longer pauses but
They
before they
do.
laugh or
Yeah,
something.
they do. That's true. Yep.
But it's such an interesting world, and I love watching your comedy.
Yeah.
I can't believe we've already done an hour.
Yeah,
It
I
went by
know.
really fast.
It went by super fast.
So,
Yeah.
what would you like to plug?
What would I like to plug? I'm doing fucking show at the Green Room on
Yep.
Tuesday. I have a show in Belton on February 20th.
Nice.
If I'm not in labor.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm not taking bookings in March right now.
Okay.
Because I will be a new mom
yeah. Yay.
if all things go as planned.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just pray for my child and
Yeah.
me and Jonathan, and you could drop my Venmo in the
Yeah, we will. And we'll drop your handles.
look at my babyless registry.
I love it.
No, but yeah, just support local comedy. Go see the Big Natural show
Thank you.
at the Creek in the Cave.
Yeah, I'd love
on
to
a-
have you on it too once you have your baby.
Yeah, girl.
And you're
I know
ready.
this is the biggest natural anything I've ever had on my body. Is this fetus. It was like I went from an A cup to a B cup. That's pretty exciting. But yeah, just support Austin comics. We're all out here doing our best for the most part, and
Yeah.
trying to make $20 and buy a hamburger.
For
So,
sure.
you
Well,
know.
thank you so much, Mallory.
Yeah,
It's been
thank
so
you.
much fun having you on.
Yeah,
And we'll put all your information in the little description as well. So,
thanks.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you
You
for coming
too.
on.
Yes.